Welcome, my name is Tess. I'm the fitness coordinator at Sports. Today I'm going to take you through a yoga flow. We're going to base our practice today a little bit more on the warrior sequence, specifically warrior 1, warrior 2, and reverse warrior. We'll be doing plenty of more as well too. We're going to focus on those 3. So go ahead and make your way to a seated position if you're not already. You're welcome to sit either with feet crossed. You're welcome to extend your feet. Just find what's a good, comfortable position for you. And go ahead and just start to let your eyes close softly. Start to let your mind quiet. Starting to prepare yourself for the practice. Just taking a moment to breathe. Noticing the sounds around you in your space. If there's other people in your space, there's things going on outside of your space. And then start to center yourself in the room you're in. Think about what things surround you, what energies surround you. Are you in a space you also work? Is it a space of tension or stress? Are you in a space of relaxation? Just continuing to breathe here, and then starting to bring yourself onto your mat or what space you're going to use as your mat today. Notice what parts of your body are touching the ground. Notice how your clothes feel against your skin. Notice the air around you. And then start to bring your attention within your body. Thinking about what emotions you've been feeling so far today. We may have just woken up, we may have been up a few hours. Maybe we never went to sleep last night. But go ahead and take acknowledgement of that energy, of those feelings. Check in with yourself. Ask what you feel and why you feel that way. Accepting these emotions. And as we come to prepare for our practice here, I want to take a moment to reflect in a way respectfully to bring us to a space that allows us to be ready for this practice today. Feel free to follow along here in these statements or just use this time for your own meditation and reflection. Take a moment to settle your mind. Try and let the stress, the pressure, anxiety from the past weeks and months leave your mind. Let them leave your mind, not to ignore them, but to give yourself time to take a break and recharge for what awaits after our practice. Our physical and mental well-being are interconnected. And giving yourself this time will hopefully empower you to carry out the work the rest of today, this weekend, and in the coming weeks and months. As we think about these things, and think about what we want to make out of this practice, what our intention is. We start coming into our breath, starting to breathe here, inhaling through the nose, filling our lungs. Exhale, exhaling out of our mouth, feeling free to bring ourselves to an audible breath, an audible sigh. As we inhale, we're creating space in our chest, our lungs, and our belly area. Opening them up. Exhale, we release that air out. Maybe taking a moment here to sit a little bit taller, as if someone's pulling a string from the top of your head, pulling you up nice and tall. Continuing with our breath here. Go ahead and place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. I want you to think about your lungs in 3 portions, the top, the middle, and the bottom. So the space at our top hand, the space between our hands, and the space at our bottom hand. As we inhale, we're going to fill from the bottom to the middle to the top. And as we exhale, we're going to release from the top to the middle to the bottom. Using imagery here to picture that air coming in and out of our lungs. Controlling our breath here. And if this isn't comfortable for you, just coming into a regular breath. No matter how we're breathing, we want to have attention on our hands here. Notice that they rise and fall with each breath. Breathing in through the nose and either exhaling through the nose or the mouth. Always finding what's most comfortable for you, even if it doesn't follow what I say. Listening to our own body. Good. With our next exhale, we'll go ahead and bring our hands down to our mat. We're going to make our way into a lying position here. So nice and controlled, we want to bring ourselves back onto the mat, using our hands to assist, keeping our core tight, protecting that low back. We're going to go ahead and extend our legs here. Good. With our eyes closed or our gaze soft, we're going to think about breathing into our legs here, warming up our body from the inside out. As we breathe in, we picture our breath traveling in through our nose, to our throat, to our chest, through our belly, into our hips, our thighs, our knees, our calves, our ankles, our arches to our toes. And as we exhale, we pull that breath back out from toes to arches to ankles, to calves to thighs to hips, up through our belly to our chest, into our throat, out our nose or mouth. Again, imagining that breath coming in, flowing, picturing where it flows in through our body, inhaling deep enough for that breath to reach our toes, and exhaling strong enough to pull that breath all the way back out. As we inhale positivity. We inhale relaxation. We inhale empowerment. We inhale release. As we exhale and we pull out any negativity, any tension, any doubt, any stress. Using deep, strong breaths here to move that air in and out of our body. And on our next inhale, we move our breath to focus on our arms. Inhaling in through the nose to the throat, to our chest, into our shoulders, to our upper arms, to elbows, to forearms, to wrists, to palm, to fingertips. And as we exhale, exhaling strong enough to pull that breath back out from fingertips to palms, to wrists, to forearms, to elbows, to upper arms, to shoulders, to chest, up through the throat, out the nose or mouth. With every inhale, we breathe in positivity. We breathe in relaxation. We breathe in empowerment. We breathe in release. With our strong exhale, we release any negativity, any tension, any doubt, any stress. Go ahead and place your feet onto your mat. Bringing your knees up towards the sky. And as we inhale, we're gonna curl just the very end of our tailbone up off the mat, grounding our low back into the mat. We engage our glute muscles. Exhale, we're gonna release back down, nice and controlled here. Inhale again, we curl up, pushing through the heels. We start to feel our glutes and our abdominal muscles engage here. We wanna try to avoid using that low back, adding any added stress or tension on that low back. Learning to use the glutes and the abdominal muscles and all of the deep muscles within that area to help support our body, whether we're sitting, standing, moving. Just moving in and out of these pelvic tilts with our breath. As we inhale, we curl that tailbone up, grounding our low back into the mat. As we exhale, we release back down. Good, and as you feel comfortable with this, as we inhale, we curl our tailbone, we engage those abdominal muscles, and we begin to lift our hips off the mat, lifting our back, rolling our spine off the mat, coming into a bridge. And as we exhale, very nice and controlled, one vertebrae at a time, we roll back down onto the mat. Good. As we inhale, starting first with that pelvic tilt, curling that tailbone, we peel our spine off the mat. We're keeping our knees in line with our hips and our feet. We're pushing through our heels, engaging those glute muscles and our abdominal muscles. Exhale, we roll the spine back onto the mat. And once more, we curl that tailbone, slow, controlled movement as we inhale, rising those hips up towards the sky, keeping the abdominal muscles engaged. Exhale, we release back down. Good. Go ahead and let your knees fall side to side, windshield wiper here. Release any tension that may still be in our back. Good. And on our next inhale, our hands are gonna raise straight up towards the sky. We're gonna reach those hands, peeling those shoulders off the mat. And as we exhale, we're gonna continue that motion with our hands, and they're gonna land back behind our head, our upper arms at the sides of our ears. And as we inhale, we're gonna reach those hands back away from us. We're gonna extend those legs out, coming into a good morning stretch, as if someone's pulling our feet and our hands in opposite directions. Exhale, we release that stretch. And on our next inhale, our hands come back up towards the sky. Exhale, they continue that arching motion down to our sides. We're gonna do this a few more times, moving with our breath. As we inhale, our hands come up towards the sky. And continuing that fluid movement, as we exhale, we release those hands back behind our head. Inhale, they come back up towards the sky, creating this arching or rainbow shape here with our hands. Following our own breath here. If your pace is different than mine, if you're doing this with somebody else, maybe close your eyes for a moment. Find your own pace, find your own breath. As you reach those hands up, I want you to reach those hands towards the sky, pull those shoulders off of the mat, and as we release back down, we release everything and relax it. Warming up these shoulder joints here. Good, continuing this movement, and the next time that your hands meet the side of your mat, go ahead and let them rest there. Taking just a moment here, come back to your intention, come back to your breath. Good, and when you're ready, we're gonna go ahead and bring our feet back onto the mat, knees come towards the sky. We're gonna either roll over to our left or our right side, pushing ourselves up into a seated position. Find a comfortable way to get there for you. Good, we can sit cross-legged. If this is not comfortable for you, you're welcome to extend those legs out in front of you. Sitting nice and tall here. We're gonna pretend again that someone's pulling a string from the top of our head. We're long in the back of our neck, so we often wanna bring our chin up towards the sky. I want you to pretend someone's got a string towards kind of the back, that crown of your head, and pulling you up. Good, our abdominal muscles are engaged. If we rock side to side, we find those sit bones in our pelvis. We want to be right on those sit bones here, sitting tall. Shoulders are down and back, relaxed. Good. Go ahead and stay facing whatever direction. I'm going to turn to the side just to show you here. We're going to come into a back and hip stretch. So either with our legs crossed or with our legs extended in front of us. As we inhale, we're going to lengthen that spine. Exhale, we're going to keep that spine lengthened, just hinge from the hips, keeping that back flat. We're going to lean forward ever slightly, crawling those hands forward. So nice flat back. We should not have too much of a range here. Good, we should start to feel this stretch in our back. Keeping our spine extended. If someone put a plank of wood from the crown of our head to our hips, it should be able to touch every point on our back. Continuing to inhale here, lengthening that spine. Exhale, maybe we come a little bit deeper into this stretch, or maybe we stay right where we are. On our next inhale, breathe in. Hold that breath at the top, and as we exhale, we're going to fall forward, letting ourselves collapse towards the floor, letting our head and neck relax, bringing our forehead towards the mat. If it reaches there or not, find what feels better for our body. Our arms crawl out a little bit further as we just stay here for a moment, finding our breath. Good. On our next inhale, we begin to roll up, starting with the base of our spine all the way up to the top. The last thing to come up is our head. Good. We're going to go through this one more time. If your legs are crossed, go ahead and uncross your legs and then recross them the opposite direction. So if you had your left foot in front, switch and put your right foot in front. If you had your legs straight out, just stay right where you're at. Or if you want to try cross-legged, you're welcome to do so as well. Good. Once more, we're going to find that tall posture, find our sit bones. We're sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, we extend that spine. Exhale, we come forward, keeping a nice flat back here. Our chest is open. Our shoulders are pushing back. Our shoulders are down, away from our ears. You might notice that if you're sitting cross-legged, you can go a little further on this side than the other side. Or it might just be you have a little bit more flexibility after that first stretch here. Keeping that spine long and extended. We take a big deep breath in. We hold it at the top. Exhale, we release, folding down. Good, just letting that head hang, letting our arms relax. Releasing any tension in our body. If this is too intense here, we can take our fists and we can stack one on top of the other, resting our forehead on top of those fists. Inhale, we roll up, starting from the bottom of our spine. The last thing to come up is our head. Good, we're going to go ahead and swing our feet around. Palms are going to meet onto our mat. We have our shoulders above our hands. Fingers are spread nice and wide. We're pushing into each fingertip. Our hips are directly above our knees. Our shins are meeting the mat. Our back is nice and flat here, so if we have any curve in our back or any rounding, we want to try to stay nice and flat here. It's a hard thing to do without being able to see it, so think about that pelvic tilt that we did in the beginning. We want to just curl that tailbone under ever so slightly. If you feel any pull in your low back, I want you to release it just a little bit, keeping that core tight, pulling your belly away from the floor. Good. Coming into a few rounds of cat-cow, we're going to come into some spinal movement here. As we inhale, we're going to actually drop that belly to the floor. Now our hips rise up, our chin rises up, our shoulders push back away from our ears. Exhale, we round that spine, coming in the opposite direction. Our chin tucks in, our hips tuck under. Coming into cat. Inhale, we come back into cow. Dropping that belly, hips and chin rise, shoulders open up. Exhale, we push away from the floor, separating those shoulders in the back. Rounding that spine. And one more round here, coming into coming into cow first as we inhale. Exhale, we round that spine, coming in to cat. Good, in our last movement, we're gonna come back into tabletop. We're gonna curl our toes under, coming into our first down dog. If you're comfortable with down dog, go ahead and make your way there. If not, what we're gonna be doing is pushing our heels back away from us, lifting our hips up and back. So we're shifting forward, creating this A shape here with our body. With down dog, we wanna make sure that our fingers are spread nice and wide. We wanna make sure that we have a slight bend in our elbows. We wanna think about pushing our shoulders away from our ears. Our head and neck are relaxed and our chest is pushing towards our knees. Our hips are rising nice and high. And our heels are reaching back toward the mat. Go ahead and alternate bending each knee, pushing each ankle into the mat, coming into walk the dog. Stretching out those hamstrings. Good, and if you'd like to, we can sway those hips side to side. Just finding some movement with our down dog here. Good, go ahead and find stillness here. On our next inhale, we're gonna shift our weight to our left foot. Our right foot's gonna come towards the sky. We're gonna bring our gaze in between our hands. We're gonna bend that knee and we're gonna swoop that knee in and plant that foot on the floor. Good, now we're gonna come into this low runner's lunge position and I want us to make sure that we're adjusting here. So my knee is beyond my toes, so I'm gonna take my foot, I'm gonna scoot it forward a little bit, however you need to get it there. I'm up on the tips of my fingers, I have short arms and can't quite reach all the way down to flat on the floor, that's fine. And you're welcome to drop that back knee if that feels more comfortable for you. We're looking to come into a nice flat back here. Good, feeling this stretch in our left hip flexor, so the back leg, we should feel a stretch in the front of that hip. Pushing those hips towards the ground. Good, we're gonna go ahead and flatten that back foot at a diagonal angle. And as we inhale, we're gonna lengthen that spine, stretching, we lift a little bit. And then we rise all the way up, coming into warrior one. We're pushing through the outer edge of our back foot and our front foot. Our front knee is in line with the toes. Our left hip pushes forward, our back hip pushes forward. Try to get our hips as square to the front as possible. We're tucking that pelvis under. Our core is engaged. Our shoulders are down and back. Our arms are raising towards the sky, palms facing each other. We sink a little bit deeper into that front knee. Holding this warrior one. Good, finding that alignment in our body here. Sinking a little bit deeper. Pushing those hips forward. Breathing here, holding it. Good, at our next exhale, we're gonna open up into warrior two. Our back foot rotates open. Our arms come out to our sides. And we open to our left side. With our warrior two, what I want you to make sure to do is you're pushing through the outer edge of both of your feet once more. This front knee is in line with the front toes. Our hips are tucked under. We have our shoulders down and back. Our arms are long and strong. We bring our gaze over our front middle finger. If it's not comfortable for your neck, go ahead and keep your gaze towards the side. Other options for our arms, bring them to our side or bring them to heart center. Find what's comfortable for you. Inhale, we flip our front palm, we reach it forward. Exhale, we're gonna come up and around into reverse warrior. Good, our back hand either meets at our shin or our thigh, making sure that it's not on our knee joint. We want to avoid any pressure there. Keeping our chest nice and open. Our arm up top reaches up and over Keeping that space for our head. So if your arm is up against your face, I want you to create that space there. Push that front knee out, sink a little bit deeper. Inhale, we're gonna cartwheel those arms back into warrior two. Check your positioning here, pushing through the outer edge of both feet. Continuing to breathe here. Good, we rotate our back foot, we shift those hips forward, coming back into warrior one. Arms come up or come to prayer at heart center, or they can remain down at your sides, whichever feels good for you. Our back hips pushing forward, hips are tucked under, shoulders are down and back. Exhale, we release our hands forward to the ground. We come forward into that runner's lunge here. Stepping our right foot back to meet our left, coming into tall plank. And exhale, we push back into down dog. Good, once more, come into walk the dog, alternating bending our knees and pushing our heels into the ground. Feel if there's any difference here between your right and left leg than when we first did this. Good, on our next inhale, our left foot's gonna come up towards the sky this time. We bring our gaze forward, exhale, we bring that foot up and forward. Do what you need to get that foot in a good, safe position. Use your hand, scoot it forward. It doesn't have to be perfect here. Coming into this runner's lunge. Good, we make sure that our knee is not past our toes. Again, you're welcome to drop that back knee if that's more comfortable for you. Looking for a nice long spine here. Continuing to breathe, pushing those hips down and forward. Good, go ahead and plant that back foot. Find a nice long spine as we inhale and we rise up into warrior one on the opposite side. So same thing here, we want to make sure that we're pushing through the outer edge of both our front and our back feet. Our front knee is in line with our toes. Our hips are tucked under, our shoulders are down and back, while our arms rise up strong, or at prayer, or at our sides. We're pushing our back hip towards the front, sinking a little deeper here. Good, keep breathing. As we inhale, we find nice and tall. Exhale, we rotate that back foot open. We come into our warrior two here. Again, pushing through the outer edge of both of our feet. Good, if this is a little intense, bring that back foot in. Modify this warrior a little bit. We tuck those hips under, shoulders are down and back. Our gaze comes over our front middle finger. Sinking a little bit deeper. Continuing to breathe here. On our next inhale, we flip our front hand, we reach forward. Exhale, we come up and around, reverse warrior. Make sure we're pushing through or pushing that front knee out to the side. Making sure we're challenging that knee to stay over those toes. Our back hand, our right hand is either at our thigh or our calf, avoiding that knee area. And our left hand comes up and over, making sure to keep that chest open. Keep that space around our head. Inhale, we cartwheel those hands around, coming back into warrior two for a moment. Find that good position here. And on our next inhale, we rotate forward into warrior one, pushing through the outer edge of both of those feet. Adjust that back leg as you need to. Inhale, we rise tall. Exhale, we fall forward, keeping a nice long spine, hinging at the hips, coming into that runner's lunge once more. This time, our right foot's gonna step forward to meet our left. We're gonna come into a slight squat here with our knees. Inhale, we're gonna find a flat back. Our arms are gonna come out straight forward. And on our next inhale, we're gonna rise up about 45 degrees, so halfway, coming right into chair. We scoot those feet together, get our big toes to touch. Our knees will meet. We're tucking that tailbone under. We're extending that spine. We're sitting those hips back, making sure our knees are not going beyond our toes. Inhale, we rise up, and exhale, we let those hands fall to the side. Good, coming back to our breath here, taking a moment. We're gonna move into mountain pose, representing strength. We're gonna start here by focusing on our toes. We're gonna go from toes to head as we come through this pose. We wanna start by bringing our toes up, and you're gonna plant them one at a time as much as you're able to, from your pinkies to your big toe. Trying to create that space or that arch a little bit deeper than what your natural arch is. Next, we're gonna think about pulling our kneecaps up. So we're gonna engage the quad muscles here. We're gonna tuck that tailbone under. We're gonna engage those abdominal muscles here, both through the upper, middle, and lower abdominals, and then into those pelvic muscles as well too. We're gonna take our shoulders up and back, nice and strong. Our arms are gonna come out to the side, our palms forward. We're gonna spread those fingertips and we're gonna engage those arm muscles best we can. And then everything in our face is going to relax. Coming strong here into mountain pose. Breathing here. Engaging everything from the shoulders down to our toes. Keeping our body strong. Good, for an added challenge, we close our eyes. Trying to create stability without a focal point. Using ourselves to control what we can without being able to see in front of us. Good, if your eyes are closed, go ahead and blink them open. As we inhale, our hands are gonna come up towards the sky. As we exhale, we're gonna hinge at the hips, keeping our back nice and flat. We have a soft bend in the knees. We're gonna forward fold. Hands reach down towards the ground if they meet the ground or not, doesn't matter. Good, if your hands are not to the ground, go ahead and bend your knees slightly so your hands reach. And then lift your hips and straighten your legs as much as is comfortable for you, reaching those hips up towards the sky to get you a little bit of a deeper forward fold. Good, go ahead and let your head and your neck hang, let your arms relax. For a deeper stretch, we can bring our hands around to the back, grabbing on above our Achilles, below our calves, and pulling our chest closer towards our knees. Good, if your hands are wrapped around, go ahead and release them back. And as we inhale, we're gonna lift halfway, coming to flat back. Exhale, we're gonna fold one more time. Again, trying to lift those hips towards the sky. Good, we're planting our hands. We're gonna step our right foot, then our left foot back into a tall plank. And exhale, we're gonna release back into down dog. Good. What we're gonna do is move through our warrior sequence, warrior 1, warrior 2, and reverse warrior 2 times on each side, alternating sides. We're gonna move a little bit quicker with our breath here. So following that same sequence before, as we inhale, our right foot comes up. As we exhale, we drive that foot forward, planting that foot. We rest here a moment, going ahead and letting our hip flexor release. Inhale, we plant our back foot. We rise up into warrior 1. We turn our back foot. We exhale into warrior 2. Inhale, we flip our hand, reach. Exhale, we come back over, reverse warrior. Inhale, we come back to warrior 2. Exhale, we release forward, warrior 1. And bringing hands down to the mat, come into a runner's lunge. We step our right foot back, coming into tall plank. And then moving into down dog. Inhale, our left foot comes forward. Exhale, we drive that foot, planting it. Coming into our runner's lunge. Exhale, we plant our back foot. Inhale, we rise up, warrior 1. Exhale, we release to the side, warrior two. Inhale, we flip our front hand, reaching forward. Exhale, we come up and over, reverse warrior. Inhale, we come back, warrior two. We switch our back foot as we exhale. Inhale, hands come up, warrior one. Exhale into a runner's lunge. Inhale, we step back, tall plank. Exhale, we come into down dog. Same thing on the other side. Inhale, our right foot comes up. Exhale, we drive that knee forward, runner's lunge. Exhale, we plant that back foot. Inhale, we rise up, warrior one. Exhale, we open up, warrior two. Inhale, we flip our front hand, reaching forward. Exhale, we come up and over, reverse warrior. Inhale, we come back, warrior two. Exhale, we rotate that back foot. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, we come back, runner's lunge. Inhale, we rotate that back. We come into plank. Exhale, we come back into down dog. And last time, inhale, left foot comes up. Exhale, we plant that foot forward. Inhale, we hold. Exhale, we plant our back foot. Inhale, we rise up, warrior one. Exhale, we open up, warrior two. Inhale, our front hand flips over. Come into reverse warrior. Exhale, we come back into warrior two, flipping our back foot. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, we come into runner's lunge. We step that left foot back, inhale to plank. Exhale to down dog. On our next inhale, we're gonna come into tabletop, planting our knees. Our big toes meet. We spread our knees nice and wide here, and we sink back into a child's pose. Our hips sinking back to our heels as close as we can get them. Our chest, our chin, our forehead resting on our mat. Our arms reaching forward, letting our shoulders melt out towards the sides. Coming here for a moment to return to our breath. Go ahead and crawl your hands over to the left side, reaching back with your left hip. And go ahead to crawl those hands over to the opposite side, to the right. And as we inhale, our hands crawl back to center. On our next breath in, we come into tabletop. Stretching our right foot back behind us. We're going for a length over height here. We're making sure that our back stays nice and flat here, pushing through the heel. Our right foot crosses over to our left side, planting those toes. We bring our gaze over our left shoulder. For an even deeper stretch, we plant that knee, hugging it in close to the opposite knee. Good, if our knee is on the ground, go ahead and extend that foot back out. As we inhale, our leg comes back to center. And as we exhale, our foot's gonna move out towards the side, the same side, so our right foot comes to our right side. Bring it as far forward as comfortable for you. We're planting that foot here. We're still nice and long in our spine. And as we inhale, we're gonna bring ourselves up, sitting nice and tall. And we're gonna come into gate pose here. As we inhale, our hands come up and around. And as we exhale, we're gonna come down towards that right foot, so our right hand is meeting either at our thigh or our calf or towards our ankle. Our left arm comes up and over, again, keeping that space, keeping the chest open. Good, sinking those hips down towards the ground. Inhale, we rise back up. Exhale, we're gonna come to the opposite side here. Our hand meeting the floor. Good, still keeping that space with that right arm. Inhale, we rise back up using those oblique, those side muscles. And exhale, we plant our hands back down into tabletop here. Good, as we inhale, we lift that leg back behind us. And exhale, we plant that knee to the ground. Good, coming to the same thing on the opposite side. As we inhale, our left foot's gonna come back behind us, pushing through the heel, our back is nice and flat. As we exhale, it plants to the opposite side, reaching back through that heel. Good, we have an option here to bring our gaze over our right shoulder, and also an option to plant that knee onto the mat. Breathing through this stretch here. Keeping that core engaged, keeping those abdominal muscles engaged here. Trying to avoid that back collapsing. If our knee is bent to the ground, as we inhale, we extend that leg back out. And on our next inhale, we bring that foot up and back. And then we bring it out over to our left side. Good. Maybe we crawl that leg out a little bit further, trying to keep our right hip over our right knee. Back is nice and flat. As we inhale, we rise up. Hands come up above us. And as we exhale, we come over to that left leg, hand plants at thigh, shin, or ankle. Keeping that space with that right hand, keeping that chest open. Feeling that stretch through our right side. As we inhale, we use the muscles on our right side, those oblique muscles. We pull ourselves back up. Both of our hands come up towards the sky. As we exhale, we plant that hand onto the right side, creating one long line from our left foot to left fingertips. Keeping that space between our head and our left arm. As we inhale, we use those side muscles, pulling ourselves back up, hands come up towards the sky. Exhale, we fall forward into that tabletop with that leg still extended out to the side. Inhale, we bring that leg straight back behind us, and exhale, we plant that knee. Good. For our next pose, we're gonna come into thread the needle with our arms. So what we're gonna do is, as we inhale, we're gonna take our right hand, we're gonna reach up towards the sky. We're gonna look up towards that hand, and I want you to push that hand back. It's gonna almost feel like there's a wall there. And as we exhale, we're gonna take that hand, we're gonna weave it underneath our front hand, and we're gonna plant our shoulder, plant our head onto the mat, and let our whole upper body and head relax. Good, a few options here. We can either push through that left hand, or we can bring that left hand up towards the sky, or we can bring that left arm back around, tuck it into our hip and waist crevice. Find what feels good for you. Find what deepens the stretch. It's gonna be different for everybody. Good, if our hand is wrapped back behind us, creating a bind, we're gonna release that hand up towards the sky. And if our hand's in the sky, we're gonna plant it back down onto our mat. As we inhale, we're gonna push through that left hand, opening up that hand once more. Push that right hand back as far as you can. Exhale, we plant that hand onto the mat. Coming to the other side, as we inhale, our left hand comes up, we open up, looking up towards the sky, reaching that hand back. Exhale, we plant it down to the ground, relaxing, reaching that hand as far as that left hand as far as we can, and then relaxing that arm, relaxing our head and neck. Good, with the options here to bring our right hand up towards the sky, leave it on the floor, or wrap it back behind in a bind. Using our breath here to relax that upper body. As we inhale, if our hand is back behind us, we bring it up towards the sky. And if our hand is in the sky, we exhale, we plant it back to the floor. Pushing through the floor with that right hand, we rise back up. And exhale, we release back down to the floor, coming back into tabletop. Good. We're gonna go ahead and sit back onto our heels, coming into a seated position. And then we're gonna come to the side once more, or come seated and come back into lying once more, just as we did at the start of our practice. Starting to find a comfortable position here, whatever feels good for you. If you'd like to move into corpse pose as we move into our final relaxation or shavasana, for corpse pose, our legs are extended, our feet fall out towards the side, letting our hips relax here. Our hands are to the side with our palms facing up towards the sky. We can gently tuck our shoulders under just a bit, keep our chest nice and open, and our whole body's relaxed. Another option for our legs here, if you have a lot of tension or stress in your low back, you can try this. Planting your feet onto your mat, go ahead and take your feet to the edges of your mat, or if you're not using a mat, bring them a little bit wider than hip distance, and let your knees fall in and just let your legs relax, and you'll feel the loosening of that tension in that low back. So you can try both of these and see what feels better for you. As we come into our last moments of our class, moving into our shavasana, go ahead and let your eyes close. Let your mind begin to wander. Let your breath move at its natural pace. Begin to relax your body, starting by relaxing the toes. Relaxing the arches of your feet and your ankles. Relax your calves, your thighs, and your hips. Relax your fingertips, letting them curl in naturally. Relax your wrists, your forearms. Relax your upper arms and your shoulders. Relax your neck, your jaw, releasing any tension from your jaw and moving your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Relax your cheeks, your forehead. Relax the space between your eyebrows and all of the little muscles around your eyes. Let your body melt into the mat. Let yourself just be in this moment. Let your body be, let your mind be. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, slowly waking up your body. Let your arms move side to side, your legs roll side to side. Maybe letting your head fall to each side. When you're ready, bring your knees up towards the sky, planting your feet onto your mat and the ground below you. Fall either to the left or the right side. Bringing knee over knee, palm over palm, creating a pillow with your hands. Coming into fetal pose, representing a new beginning after our practice. Using your hands when you're ready, push yourself up into a seated position, either cross-legged or legs extended, whatever is comfortable for you. And our last inhale together, we bring those hands up and around, meeting with our palms to touch. As we exhale, we slowly bring our thumbs to our forehead, reminding ourselves to think our best thoughts. Bringing our thumbs to our lips, reminding ourselves to speak our best words. And bringing our thumbs to heart center, reminding ourselves to live our best lives. I want to thank you all very much for joining me in this practice today. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to send a comment in the chat, anything you liked or didn't like. If you couldn't hear me very well, please let me know. Other than that, I hope to see you all next week. Thank you all for being here. The love, the light, and the strength in me shines through and acknowledges the love, the light, and the strength in you. Namaste. All right, thank you. Make sure to check out some of our other classes. If you have any feedback, let me know. You all have my email. If you want any more classes, let me know, or something different. If you have any requests for yoga, also let me know. I plan my classes week to week, so if you want something to focus on, just shoot me a message. If not, thank you all for being here, and have a wonderful rest of your day and an awesome weekend.